repository, really isolating the concepts of what Git does and the main operations that we'll be using with Git on our project. But there is something missing here. There is a key aspect of what Git is used for that we haven't encountered yet, and so what this final chapter will be is ways in which we will be working with remote repositories. But before we talk about that specifically, let's talk about some of the problems that we currently have with our setup that we have been using up until now. Our local repos are only on our own personal local machines. So if anything were to happen to our computer, if the hard drive malfunctioned and we lost all of the data on there, we would lose all of the work that we have done on our project. All of the commits that we've issued to our project are gone. All of the data that Git has been keeping track of is lost. And so this is where the idea of a remote repository comes in. Essentially, we are going to use a service like GitHub to provide us a number of things. One of those things being some cloud storage for us to host our project files. Now, there's a ton of other things that GitHub does besides provide storage for your Git repos. There are a number of other features specific to Git that GitHub will introduce. There's also an entire networking aspect of GitHub, it being a bit of a social network that you can use to really illuminate your code projects and the different things that you're able to do, projects you've collaborated on. So there's a lot of things going on with GitHub specifically, but what we're going to be concerned with is GitHub as a means to host a remote repo. Now, we can use GitHub to host our local repo. Now we don't have that problem anymore. If something happens to our machine, we can just get our code from our remote GitHub repository, and that's fine. But there's a whole nother component of using Git, which is collaboration with others. So as we kind of go through this chapter, we'll be using a Git repo as a means to collaborate between multiple developers and all of the things that you'll have to keep in mind as you go through that process. So hopefully by the end of this entire course, you will have the main set of skills for just comfortably using Git as a version control system, but also being a contributor to an entire GitHub project where there might be multiple developers.